breaking of the seal and all that?
No, not. As I said, Commissioner, it's upon reading their statements, preparing for here, that I realized they were not part of that.
But if you go to your statement of the 9th of November, you still maintain there were ORS members at the scene during this operation. Which ones are they? If
Yes,
it's not these two who you happen to call as they pass to help you with transportation, which ORS members are they?
It's the same two, Commissioner.
Oh, so you hadn't realized this error by the time you deposed to your second statement?
Yes, that's correct.
So you maintain that error?
Yes,
and you call them
error.
ORS members at the scene?
I did call them, and to set the record straight, when preparing for the commission, when I looked through the inquiry, I was the one that obtained both statements from Mkhize and Governor. And it's only when I obtained that I did realize nowhere did they speak about them observing us break the lock. And that's why today I can sit here and say it with confidence. But somehow, when we did this operation, it was in my mind that ORS was there and they witnessed it, hence I put it there. But it was not with any intention to mislead anybody, Commissioner.
Okay, let's go to their statements and see what they say. That will be CJC 261 and CJC 262, starting at page 777. 777. Okay. That is the first statement. Are you there yet, Colonel?
Not yet, Commissioner. Okay. Please bear with me.
Yes, no. You'll get assistance.
261, 262, CJC 261.
CJC.
Oh, maybe it's here, eh? Okay, one, okay. Got it, Commissioner.
Now, the first statement, CJC 261,
yes,
is by Kubendren Govender.
Yes, that's
Is that
correct.
And the next one is by Wanda Kolani, but the surname is at the bottom, and that's Mkhize. These are the two ORS members you say were present during the operation.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
let's look at Sergeant Govender at 777. He gives his details and the like. Now let's go to paragraph 3.
Looking for a great car insurance deal? Look no further. For quality cover and affordable premium.
During the course of our duties, we approached, if I may start at paragraph 2. The last two sentences. We, and by we he references himself and Sergeant Mkhize. You see that? At paragraph 2, he mentions that my crew was Sergeant Mkhize on this particular day of the 22nd day of June.
Yes, correct.
Okay, then he continues still at paragraph 2. We were posted from our office to do inspection on certain listed containers at CHC depot. In prospecting, do you see that?
Yes, I see that.
This is our daily routine at the same depot and other depot places. The next paragraph, he states, during the course of our duties, we were approached by the male person identified himself as Colonel Jacob from DPCI Durban. He informed us that they recovered drugs from one of the containers at the same container depot we were busy at. He further requested us to assist them transporting the exhibits with our state vehicle, and we agreed to assist them. So, according to Sergeant Govender, they were not even present because they were informed that you had discovered the drugs. Yes, so both your statements are wrong to say that they are the two ORS members you say were present during the breaking of the seal.
Yes, I concede that.
Okay. And they say that you actually approached them while they were executing their normal duties to ask them simply to request, to assist you in transporting the exhibits. That's all that's the only role they played.
Yes, Yes,
Confirm.
that's the role they played in terms of conveying exhibits, Commissioner.
Now, at the last paragraph of that same statement, Sergeant Govender states, the container they recovered the drugs from was not part of the containers we were to inspect, and we were not part of their operation.
Yes, yes, Commissioner. That's, I've alluded to their role. If he deems that not to be part of the operation, I can't disagree with him.
You made them part of the operation as ORS members consistently in your statements, and that is wrong. And you knew that is not correct because this is what you requested of them to do. They were busy with their own business on the day. Literally, you saw them pass and you said, hey, can you bring I need transport. That's all you ever did. He specifically says, we were not part of their operation. How could you make a mistake and say that they were part of your operation?
Yes, Commissioner, if I may go to the statement that we did obtain and file in the inquiry, would that help shed some light? It's a different statement to this one that you've got on CJC 261.
Okay, we'll try and locate it. But you see, if CJC 261 at the top is written Durban's SOCI inquiry case number 28/06/2021. That's your inquiry file.
Yes, that's correct.
So which other statement are
I'm
you?
going to look for it now, Commissioner.
Try and describe it, and we'll see if we can help locate.
While he's busy with that, I see that on the same page, 777, paragraph 2,
Yes.
he said, Advocate Silo, the statement referred to in paragraph 2 on page 770.
Yes. Oh, yes, where it says I would like to further my statement I submitted. There is a first statement. We'd have to go into the inquiry file for that, right?
Or is it the same statement he's referring to?
It has got to be the same statement, but it's in the same inquiry file.
Okay, thank you.
So there seemingly was a statement by this Sergeant Govender. This is his second statement, but both in the inquiry. Are you suggesting that the first statement would be inconsistent with what is set out in this second statement? This is a more extensive statement.
I'm just going to look at the content quickly. I've got both here. Please bear with me,
No.
Commissioner.
Have you managed to locate the first?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Yes. I've got this first statement. It's filed as A20 in the original.
The A20, that's fine.
Yes.
We'll locate it.
Should I read it, Commissioner?
Please.
Okay, it's the statement of Sergeant Govender. He goes with his parcel and his rank and all of that. Then paragraph 2, on the 22nd of June 2021, I reported for duty in full regulation uniform at 7:15 and was in the company of Sergeant Mkize. I was posted as a driver of Mark State motor vehicle, Hyundai, and he goes on to give the vehicle details, conducting container inspections at the CHC and ICS depots. Whilst busy with container inspections at the CHC depot at 14th Avenue, the East Prospective, I was approached by 2 other police officials dressed in civilian attire. They identified themselves as Lieutenant Colonel Jacob from DPCI and another Captain Duma from Crime Intelligence. They had inspected container number, and we go on with the container number, and had identified some black canvas bags that allegedly had cocaine in them. Sergeant Mkize and I were requested to assist with loading these bags into our vehicle and conveying them to Isipingo SAP. Sergeant Mkize and I, together with other DPCI members, transferred these black bags from the container into the H1 Mark State vehicle that I was driving. I counted 27 such bags. We were escorted by Lieutenant Colonel Jacob and his team to Isipingo SAP, where we assisted in offloading the black bags. The DPCI members were busy counting the yellow and black bricks of suspected cocaine when we left the scene. From my observations, each bag contained approximately 20 such bricks. We then left the scene and proceeded with our normal duties.
So is that statement you just read inconsistent with the one we have here? It's still about
More
being
or less the
approached by
same
you
content.
to request
Yes.
with providing transport.
That's correct, Commissioner.
Okay.
Just
So-
for our record, it's on 627.
On 6/27?
Yes.
So we can accept these were not the ORS members part of your operation? Whether on the version of this first statement or this one? They were not?
Their role was limited, if I may put it that way, Commissioner.
They had no role until you requested them to provide transport?
Yes, they were not part of it, I can concede, Commissioner.
And if you go at 262, page 779, that is then the statement in the same inquiry of one Sergeant Wanda Kolani Mkize. It's worded in more or less the same terms.
Yes.
Please cast your eye and satisfy yourself. He confirms, it's literally written the same way, except he states that he was a crew of a marked vehicle, given the details, driven by Sergeant Govender.
Yes.
Then he states as so then the commissioners can accept we are at a point where we know in this operation there were no customs officials. You never contacted any and there were none at the scene.
May I comment to that?
Say that again?
May I make a comment?
Absolutely, please do.
Okay. There's no obligation on the police to include customs on any operation, or more especially, not more especially, on a drug operation. There's no obligation on the police to call customs out. Our mandate is to deal with transnational drug trafficking, drug consignments coming through harbors, national key points. So there's no obligation on us to call customs out.
And just for the record, I'm not imposing any obligation. I'm just clarifying as to who was at the scene.
Yes, customs was not
Okay.
there.
We will get to the obligation. As we understand it, when these containers are at the depot, they haven't cleared customs. Do you have a different understanding?
No, I don't.
You know that.
In fact, I'm not 100% clear on that, to be honest, but you may proceed, Commissioner.
So if the evidence as we have it is correct that they haven't cleared customs, they would still be within customs jurisdiction, logically.
Yes, I would think so.
So do you want to maintain that there would be no obligation to inform them that you are on their territory and carrying out an operation?
I still maintain that we had no obligation. We were not looking at customs offenses.
No, on the basis that you are within their area of responsibility and you are carrying out an operation. You say you have no obligation even to give them a courtesy call.
There's no obligation, Commissioner.
Is that how you treat every corner of South Africa?
No, Commissioner, if I may comment on that as well, it's not the norm. With the operations that, although I may not have been the investigating officer, but on the numerous operations that I've attended, lots of them, I would say 60% or even 70%, don't have customs official present.
Can we just check with respect to these, not the other percentages, this particular operation?
Yes.
We know from evidence, and you have also said that from the docket, you did see a detention notice.
Yes.
From the C section or something. So we are dealing with a container which is under the control of customs, as in customs has given a detention notice. And I want to understand how it is that they have stopped a container for inspection. We know it was bone meal in there, and we know that it needed to be checked for that reason by a vet if there are no other reasons at all. And you go there, you're saying you open a container that is being kept or detained on the instruction of SARS or customs, and they have no interest in you open that container and what you do. Is that what you're saying?
Commissioner, I think I need to point out that we only became aware of customs' interest in this container after this operation. Remember, the customs detention notice is dated the 23rd of June, 2021. We conducted the operation on the 22nd of June, 2021. Had somebody informed me, whether it be the warehouse or anybody informed me that customs had a detention notice or intended to detain these containers, then we would have gladly invited them on board.
Can I just amend my question?
Yes, yes.
It is not under detention, but it is still under control of it hasn't cleared customs. I think that's a conversation you've had right now, and you accept that it hadn't cleared customs. It's sitting in the depot. If it hasn't cleared customs, which it must still do, are you saying customs will let you walk in, open it, do whatever you want to do, remove what you want to remove, and you walk on, and then they will happily later on do whatever they normally do in clearing that container without knowing or any sight at all of what you came on and did on that container? Is that how you say it works?
Commissioner, my understanding is, as much as we can say, it's not a must that customs need to check every container that has bone meal in it. It's not their duty to do that, to check every container that has bone meal in it. The detention notice, in my understanding, had very little or nothing to do with the actual commodity. The person whose duty it is to view that commodity or make sure it meets the required standards is the State Vet, Department of Agriculture. So customs, in my opinion, or in my understanding, once it had left the harbor, it went to a depot. The next step in that whole process was, I think the State Vet would have come through and inspected to make sure all is in order. However, to me, it was going to be transported. The next step was it was going to reach its consignee. I'm not aware of customs checking every consignment of bone meal just by virtue of it being.
Well, the evidence that we have received, if I understood it correctly, it is that because it is bone meal, it necessarily falls in the category of things that must be checked. They cannot come into the country without checking.
Yes.
So I'm asking you the question, and our understanding was it is customs that flags it for it to be parked so that it can be checked for that purpose. And really the essence of my question is, someone else, another agency has an interest in this, and you know it's bone meal, you do. So another agency has an interest in it. Are you saying the manner in which things operate, it's such that you can come in, open it up, do whatever you do in the absence of that other party agency, that other state agency which has an interest in the container, and then you move on, and in their good time they'll come and do their whatever they do with it without any insight into what you did, and then later on, as we know it happened here, you are the one that comes back to release it, to say to the clearing agent, this can go. I'm just trying to make sense of that way of operating.
Yes. Okay, I hear you, Commissioner, and I hope I'm not laboring on the wrong point, excuse me. But what I'm trying to get at is, we were only aware of this customs detention notice after our search. The detention notice, when I looked through the inquiry, is dated the 23rd of June. So at the time of us conducting this search or inspection of the container, at that stage, none of us knew that customs had an interest in this container.
I also understood that ORS would know because the communication, as this consignment is coming, the communication would eventually land at ORS, and ORS will inform whoever it informs. That's how I've understood that. So through ORS, there would have been communication on the system that this consignment is coming, and this is flagged for reason A, B, C, D. Is that not your understanding of how it works?
That's difficult for me to answer, Commissioner, but I would say that in not all cases that we've encountered are customs and SAPS on the same page. To give you an example practically, it sometimes happens that it clashes, like SAPS is interested in a certain container, and then you learn that customs is also now interested, and it's only at the 11th hour when both parties are now interested to go inspect it. So I don't want to mislead the Commission, but I'm saying I don't think there's any system in place, or if there was, Border Police did not tell us, The warehouse manager did not tell us, so I'm saying to the
Well,
commission.
border police couldn't tell you because you didn't speak to them. You didn't involve them at all. So they couldn't have told you.
The border police is Sergeant Mkize and.
No, Sergeant Mkize is your left. He's not,
Yes.
he plays no other role than to give you transport because suddenly you find you have 27 bags to transport. Let's not make his role any bigger than that. He tells us in his statement.
Yes.
Yes.
Commissioner,
So he
even-
couldn't have said to you that, no, you know what, this container has been flagged for inspection by ORS. He couldn't have told you that.
Yes. Commissioner, if I may, if I look at the governor's statement, it's page 777, right?
It says only that you ask them to assist with taking these things out of the container and then transporting them. Mkize says exactly the same thing.
Okay, Commissioner, if I may draw your attention to the last sentence on page 777.
Yes.
He says the container they recovered the drugs from was not part of the containers we were to inspect, and we were not part of the operation.
Yes.
So in the same breath, he says it's not the part of the containers he was to inspect.
Yes.
So I'm just drawing an inference. I may be misquoting him, but my thinking is that if he knew that either border police was interested in this container or whichever other law enforcement agency, he would have mentioned something even to us.
No, that logic is faulty. I'm engaging you on the basis of you saying ORS, Border Patrol did not inform us, and I say, but you did not speak to Border Police. These are police on the ground. So when you say Border Police did not inform us that this container has been flagged, you are not talking about the patrol people who are going to be inspecting specified containers. You must be talking about someone in an office who is responsible to tell you this is what's happening on the ground. There is that container that we have flagged for inspection.
None of that was brought to our attention, Commissioner.
Because you did not speak to the right people in ORS. Simple. You didn't call the commander, the border commander. I think, in fact, in this ORS process, we have learned that the intelligence gets the information, intelligence speaks to the ORS commander, informs them, and then you guys go on to operationalize what is happening. So when you say ORS did not inform us, I'm picking a problem with you that you want to equate Mkize and Governor as, well, we did speak to ORS, they didn't tell us anything.
No,
When
not
in
on
fact,
that.
all they were was transport.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. So, at the end, where we land is the only people who were present in this operation were the DPCI members led by yourself and Captain Duma from Crime Intelligence. Would I be?
And warehouse staff.
And warehouse staff, absolutely.
yes, that's
And that
correct.
is Ms. Pillay.
Not only Ms. Pillay, some other warehouse staff as well.
Yeah,
Commissioner.
that the manager was Ms. Pillay.
Yes, that's correct.
Now, in your experience, you have done drug busts before, particularly at the port, and I take it that the port is a point of entry of goods for commerce.
Yes.
You accept that?
Yes.
At which point, must you engage?
We had tasks in one app, docs in another, meetings somewhere else. It was complete chaos. Then we moved everything to ClickUp. And when
Valuable commercial commodity. In your experience, is it necessary to tell the owner that we are about to break your seal? Or you break the seal and you tell them afterwards?
No, by experience, you need to inform either the clearing agent or the consignee, but basically the person who's responsible for that container needs to be aware that it is going to be such.
And who was that person in this instance?
In
Do
this
you recall the clearing agent or the consignee?
At that point in time, the clearing agent was the custodian of that said container. And I took Captain Duma's word that, yes, he had phoned the relevant parties, and now he had spoken to the warehouse manager. And when we did arrive there, she was familiar with what, we expected of her. So in my mind, Commissioners, it was a consensual or voluntary search that was agreed upon.
So you didn't consider yourself, you're about to break a seal
Yes.
of a private cargo. You did not consider yourself duty-bound to at least satisfy yourself that you had the requisite authorization from the owner of the container?
No, I didn't go to that
Why
extent.
not?
I took it for granted that the warehouse manager was around assisting us, aware of what was happening, and Captain Duma further indicated that he had spoken to the transporter and the clearing agent. So to me, all parties that had an interest or were possible custodians of this container were aware and had given consent to search.
And what if Captain Duma was misleading you deliberately because he knew that you will take responsibility for breaking that seal? Did you ever consider that as a possibility? His job is to provide the intelligence. He testified here yesterday to be present when that seal is broken and the container opened, and to satisfy himself whether his intelligence was correct. Beyond that, he's got absolutely no role. So you take full responsibility for that container.
Yes, I didn't go do any further or make further inquiries to ensure that his version of events was correct. I did not.
You are aware that the clearing agent said they were never informed, engaged with, and they only learned of the seal being broken, the container being broken into after the fact, on the 23rd of June.
Commissioner, it's only when watching the commission that I became aware of that, and I want to explain why. During the course of this investigation, I eventually obtained statements from the transporter, the clearing agent, the consignee, all of them. And none of them, even this from Mega Freight, the representative that came through on the 1st of July, none of them expressed any dissatisfaction with the container being opened. At no stage did any one of them. In fact, they were grateful that the police had intercepted this rather than it reaching one of their companies or their company name being tarnished because it was found on their premises. So none of them voiced any displeasure at our search.
I'm not interested in particular in whether or not they voiced a displeasure. I'm interested in whether you knew who the authorized person for that container was. And your investigation diary would seem to suggest you knew. You knew it was Mr. Flowerday of Mega Freight. You reflect that. Yeah. On the 1st of July 2021, if we go to CHC 268 at page 803, the entry there at the bottom is dated 0107, and it's actually countersigned by you on the overleaf at page 804.
Yes, that's correct, Commissioner.
And your inquiry file shows that you obtained a statement from Mr. Flowerday of Mega Freight.
That's correct.
And in that statement, he states that he was not informed. So you can't have learned from this commission.
No, sorry, Commissioner, maybe I missed it. In the inquiry file, let me have a look at what it's.
I'll give you a reference for Mr. Flowerday's statement. If you go to CJC 244.25, that will be page 654. And it's a handwritten statement, 654. That at 656 is dated 27 October 2025. That's his second statement. Do you see that?
Yes, I've got it.
That is the 2025 statement. But if you go back to 595, you will find his first statement.
Advocacy law, we sat until late yesterday. Bear with us
Okay.
when you move.
Commissioner, if it's any consolation to you, I sat with you till late yesterday. I apologize. The point I'm making is there are two statements.
Yes,
The one statement is the one at 654, that is a 2025 statement.
yes.
But if you look at that statement, it says at paragraph 3, I would like to further my statement I submitted on previous occasion. That's at 654.
Yes.
So then we have to go find the first statement. And I'm saying the first statement is at page 595.
Yes,
You have located that.
I've got it, Commissioner.
And this is undated, unfortunately. No, it's dated May 2022 at 14:45.
Okay.
You see that?
595, Commissioner.
595.
Yes.
Overleaf at 596, that's where you find the date.
Okay, yes,
Okay.
yeah, see.
Now, you were aware of Misty Flower Day of Mega Fright by the existence of that human being by the 1st of July 2021.
Yes, that's correct, Commissioner.
What did he tell you about this operation and the breaking of that seal?
He never voiced any dissatisfaction. He came through with laborers to unpack the rest of the containers, so at no stage was I aware of his displeasure at our inspection.
Why do you insist on displeasure? I mean,
okay,
you call them, I think earlier you called them role players. Is he not an important role player? You just said that's one of the entities you must obtain permission from. I would have assumed that when you conduct your inquiry, you at least would satisfy yourself that there's been compliance in that regard, because you tell us that thus far you have just simply relied on what Captain Duma told you.
Yes, I did rely on that, Commissioner. I did.
Now, by 1st of July, you
Yes.
know the responsible person from Mega Fright.
Yes.
Why did you not obtain a statement from him?
I'm going to just check quickly, Commissioner, if I did eventually. I'm sure I did obtain here's it, I think so. I'm sure I did obtain a statement from Mega Freight.
Okay, are you in the inquiry file?
I'm looking at my inquiry file.
Yeah,
Yes.
you can give
Yes.
us the statement number, I'll try and track it down.
Sure it's here. No, I see, there's a whole lot of liaison between myself and Mega Freight. I see, there's a whole lot of liaison. I say, one of my entries, she indicated that it would be finalized, meaning the statement, and couriered to our office by 21st of the 12th. Prior to that, I said, made numerous calls to her, the person from Mega Freight, agreed that the affidavit would be finalized by 1500. There's a whole lot of diary entries, but I don't seem to have got a final statement there. I didn't get it.
Okay, we'll try and see if there was a statement then before this one that we have. But what we have at 595 at the last paragraph,
Yes,
that is Mr. Flowerday's statement.
yes,
It reads, in this matter, I was not informed of the container inspection on the 22nd of June 2021, the day the drugs was seized as CHC container depot. I only received the instruction to attend inspection on 23rd day of June 2021. That was not your instruction. You didn't have an inspection on the 23rd, did you?
no. Not on the 23rd, Commissioner.
So the operation of the 22nd, he was not involved or informed of it.
Yes, I see that.
You see that?
Yes, I do.
Is that a concern?
Yes, it is a concern. I was of the impression that all the entities were informed accordingly.
Can I just ask,
Yes,
why should the clearing and forwarding agent be informed that you're going to be opening their container?
They are the custodians or the ones that basically take responsibility on behalf of the consignee from the time it had left the country of origin. So it's only proper that they are made aware and either give consent. We've had lots of cases because the clearing agent is not based anywhere close to Durban. You would get them sometimes giving you authority to just search or other times sending a representative. So in this case, I didn't do my due diligence, Commissioner.
You didn't do what you should have done, which was you as the person in charge should have satisfied yourself
Yes, I should.
that the clearing agent has agreed to this.
Yes, Commissioner.
And I think, thank you, Commissioner Baloy. The answer to that question, actually, Mr. Flowerday gives us still at page 595.
Yes.
And it's consistent with what you say. We are at paragraph 3, that big paragraph that starts with my duties will also, you see where I'm reading?
Yes, I can
Okay,
see.
now if you go to the bottom, third line from the bottom of that paragraph, it says, under no circumstances the officials will break the container seal without me being present, as I will be representing the client who's the owner of the shipment in the container. The official will either call for unpacking of the container or grant tailboard exam without unpacking, whatever that may be. But the key thing here is under no circumstances must it be opened in his absence.
Yes, I see that, Commissioner.
If you go to the next paragraph, midway, that would be the third sentence of that paragraph, says after then it is opened and inspected, the container will be resealed with a new seal. I, Flowerday, will then prepare the inspection report and invoice the clearing agent. So it would seem that besides being the owner, there is an inspection report that must be completed. You see that?
Yes, I see that.
Do you have a challenge with that suggestion that there is a requirement for a clearing report, an inspection report, rather?
Yes, I was not aware that it's something that was required, Commissioner.
Do you, as the DPCI, have a requirement that an inspection report be compiled?
No, that's not one of our criteria. Oh, that's not something that's adhered to at all times.
At all times?
Yes.
So you adhere to it sometimes?
It's in cases where the clearing agent has a representative to send over. There are other times where they just grant you permission as long as the warehouse supervisor is present.
No, my question is slightly different. I think I'm interested in the notion of an inspection report. You, as the DPCI, when you go opening containers at the harbor,
Yes.
do you have a requirement to have an inspection report compiled? I would like to believe that the purpose of that document is to at least explain your conduct.
Yes.
Is there no such requirement for DPCI members?
I have not come across it, Commissioner. I have not.
You're not. Is there a requirement? Isn't there?
It looks like that when I read this, but I haven't come across it. I don't know what it even looks like, this inspection report.
Are you aware that the ORS at the harbor has that requirement? And in this regard, I would like to refer you to CJC 246. And that's an earlier, it's the nearest one, but it's the earlier SOP. But I believe you did say that you have some experience in searching containers at the harbor.
Yes.
So, if you go to paragraph 7.2 of CJC, did I say 246?
Yeah.
249. In fact, I'm going to correct that. I know what Commissioner Kumalo was talking about now, about a long day. It's the ORS, the ORS SOP. That will be CJC 255. 255. At page 686, correct. And I'm interested in particular in that ORS, at paragraph 7.2 at 692. You see that?
Yes, I can.
And that ORS tells me of the formality associated with inspection of these containers, at least insofar as ORS Durban Harbour is concerned. If you look at paragraph 7.2, and I'll just extract a few points here, at bullet point 2. So the depot inspection team will receive the police stop inspections, right? And then overleaf, it says, first bullet point at the top, the inspection report is dispatched from the admin profilers once the container has been booked for inspection at the licensed depot. You see that?
Sorry, Commissioner, I lost you there. We're looking at page?
We started at page 690,
Okay.
and I've turned over leaf at 691.
Yes.
The very first bullet point at the top,
Yes, I see it now.
all right? And then that's the one that says an inspection report is dispatched. And then lists what must be contained in the inspection report,
Yes.
the information. And you are saying to me that DPCI doesn't have that formality.
I've not seen this before, but I see there is an onus on us to complete something of this nature.
And then I'm reading from the ORS Durban Harbour SOP. I want to know whether DPCI has got similar formal processes, or do you just ride roughshod?
I've never seen this inspection report. I would think it may be unique to border police, but I'm not 100% certain.
I'm asking about DPCI.
No,
I tell
haven't
you
seen
this is
it.
border police.
Yes.
This is ORS Durban Harbour. And I'm reading their SOP. All I'm trying to determine is, do you have anything similar? Are you this formalized?
No,
Or
we
do you
don't.
just ride roughshod over these
No, we
operations?
don't have this type. But if I may add, if I look at all of this that's required on this inspection report,
Yes.
we do have all of this on hand.
What do you have?
In the inquiry, there's an inquiry number, there's a member in charge of the inquiry, there's a container number, there would be a size of the container, what was the container stopped for, narcotics, the risk factor, the commodity declared, and the place of examination.
And where is that information captured? All that information?
I'm saying it wasn't captured at that
No,
stage.
you say you have it.
Yeah.
Where does DPCI capture all this information?
It
At
would be-
ORS in Durban Harbour, they capture it in an inspection report. Where do you capture it?
Our inquiry would carry all of this information.
Doesn't answer my question, Colonel. Where do you capture, in what
We
document? If I
don't
were
have
to
a-
talk, my apologies, if I were to talk to, say, Brigadier Newton at the Durban Harbour, if it is an ORS-led or inspection, I would ask for the inspection report. But if it is a DPCI-led operation, and I speak to your final boss, what do I ask for? To obtain that very information that you say you have already. What's the document I ask for? Is there one to ask for in the first place?
No, there's no document.
There isn't.
Yes,
So it's information that is there, but it's scattered all over.
that's correct.
Okay.
Can I just follow up on this? So, except for the investigation diary, and assuming for purposes of what I'm putting to you now, that it is an accurate, it contains an accurate contemporaneous notes or reflection of what happened on the dates that are claimed to have recorded this. Except for that, it seems to me about this operation in particular, that there is in fact no other record of what happened at the scene. And the scene being where you found these drugs.
Aside from the affidavits of various
Yeah, the
individuals
affidavits are
involved,
much
there's
later.
Yeah.
You see, we're having a discussion here, you're having a discussion with the evidence leader about an inspection report. And in 7.2, it is clear in 7.2 that This is a document, or this information is completed during the inspection, right? It tells you inspection is to be conducted within these hours, and then you must then record all of these things. That's at least how I read it. And I'm asking you that in this particular operation, all nothing that is the equivalent of this kind of inspection report.
You are correct, Commissioner.
I am correct. Thank you.
Advocate Silo, can I just follow up? Colonel, this document, the SOP, Standard Operating Procedures, you say you've never seen this before.
I've never.
And this one, we can accept that it belongs to ORS, Operational Response Services. Does the PCI have a similar document that sets out what you must do when you go to a drug bust at a port or a similar facility?
Okay. That's a good question, Commissioner. In fact, there's nothing in place in terms of a memorandum of understanding between ourselves, border police, customs. So we did sit around the table, I would think, maybe 1 year ago. We've had some deliberations with senior officials from customs, the brigadier that's in charge of the harbor as well. We're in the process of drafting something, so there was nothing formalized to basically dictate how do we work, how do we approach these sort of interdictions at the harbor or at depots.
So are you saying to us, you do as you please? If you hear that there are drugs at a port or at a depot rather, you just go there and you do as you please and you exercise your discretion?
I think that maybe, I don't want to put it too loosely, like there's no order in the way we work. There's
obviously within the confines
Yes.
of policing.
Yes, there isn't really any memorandum of understanding or any standard operating procedure or any document that would guide us exactly who goes there first, who do you call out next. For now, it's verbal agreements. We got understandings with the border police, but there isn't any formalized document that talks to how do we jointly approach these type of
But did
cases.
you not consider yourself duty-bound, seeing that you had never led an operation of this nature? You said to Chair earlier that you had participated, but you had never yourself led an operation of this nature. Did you not consider yourself duty-bound to communicate with the relevant stakeholders so that you know what to do when you get there, who to contact, and what not to do?
I should have done that, Commissioner. I did not. I took it for granted. I've been watching my members do it all along. I went there and I just did the same.
Because it goes back to that perception you mentioned in your affidavit that the way things were done in this operation leads one to believe that this was all deliberate. This was all part of a plan to seize those drugs, not book them in a police station, book them in a place where they are susceptible to theft and break-ins, and they have disappeared, as we know.
Yes.
Because no proper procedures were followed. Are you even bound by the national instruction applicable to drug seizures
No.
as DPCI?
Yes, definitely. The national instructions apply to the police holistically.
Now, sitting here today, focusing only on what you have covered with Advocate Silo, up to the point where you take the drugs out of the containers.
Yes.
Sitting here today, can you say to us that you complied fully with that national instruction?
Honestly, no, Commissioner.
No.
I haven't complied fully.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Kumalo. If we could just then complete this little exercise, and it really is for my benefit to understand how things are done at the DPCI. And as Commissioner Kumalo points out, it starts at the harbor when you open that container. And it stretches all the way to the weekend of the 6th to the 8th of November when there's a break-in at Port Shepstone offices to steal. And we are looking at what happened at which step. And that is the purpose of this exercise.
Yes, Commissioner.
And as Commissioner Kumalo points out, to determine whether or not that eventual theft was purely coincidental or was it set up from the beginning. The answer will depend on the answer to that particular question will depend on the information you provide to the commissioners to make that call.
I understand.
So they would appreciate your assistance.
Yes, Commissioner.
So then staying at page 691, just then, we have dealt with the first bullet point in the listing, duties of the inspection team upon inspection of profiled containers at licensed depots, right? And I'll say, to your fairness, there is a notion in the SOP as to what is a profile container. It goes through a process, it's profiled, identified, and then it's selected for inspection. So that is the official process. But I'm sure you'll agree with me that this particular container, through the intelligence of Captain Duma, was quote-unquote profiled. It was one of 10 containers being brought on that vessel, the Ludo.
Yes.
You are aware of that?
Yes, I'm aware.
And it is the only container that you were directed to search.
Yes, that's correct.
Would you accept then, therefore, it was ICE? And I put that in quotation marks, it was profiled.
I would think to some degree, yes, Commissioner.
So then here, in terms of ORS, what would be proper procedure, appropriate procedure for dealing with a profiled container? If you go to the 5th bullet point, at ORS, they say, amongst other things, the type of inspection conducted must be endorsed in the inspection report. You see where I'm reading?
Yes, I can see,
And
Commissioner.
in parentheses, full unpack, comma, tunnel, or tailboard inspection. Do you know what those are? Are you familiar with the terms?
Yes, I have a vague idea. A tunnel examination, full unpack of the tailboard. I have an idea.
Okay.
Yes.
The bullet points following actually do it for us. I ask because I'm wholly unfamiliar. A full unpack is when all goods in the container is unpacked and placed within the depot facility for easy accessibility and proper inspection of the goods by the inspection teams. Then it adds, and to also allow the capacity of K9 unit to search the container for possible detection of narcotics. Second subpoint, a tunnel examination is when either the right, left side of the container is unpacked in order for easy accessibility and proper inspection of the goods by the inspection teams, and to also allow the capacity of the K9 unit to search the container for possible detection of narcotics. That's, they inform us. Is it correct, would it be correct to conclude that you did, according to this definition, a tailboard inspection of that container?
Yes, it would seem like it wasn't a tunnel inspection, so it was a tailboard.
Sorry, I missed that?
It was not a tunnel inspection or a tunnel examination.
Yes.
It was this tailboard inspection.
Tailboard.
Yes.
And
What is a tailboard inspection?
You say
Can
it's
I-
yes, a full unpacked tunnel. It's one side of it where you open, that's my understanding, I could be mistaken, but we just opened the doors and then we saw what was lying on top. We took it out and then we just merely inspected it at that stage. We didn't do a full unpack. I could be wrong, but that's my layman's understanding of it.
I understood so as well. There is some document we read earlier, and we read that word. I thought that was the understanding. When it's packed at the opening of the container, upon opening the container is the first thing you see.
Yes.
But I'll cross-check that overnight just to confirm. So on that definition, you conducted a tailboard inspection.
Yes,
Correct.
yes, Commissioner, yes.
How did you know at the time that there was nothing beyond what you could see, those bags? Why did you decide that it doesn't require a full unpack or a tunnel as described here?
Okay, just by virtue of my observations, Commissioner.
So what exactly did you observe?
Okay, when we did unpack those 27 canvas bags, you could see these bags of 50-kilo bags of animal feed, and it's got a peculiar smell. It's got a peculiar texture, color, all of that, and you got a little bit of this residue coming out of the bags as well. So that's what I noticed. These bags you could clearly see there were some product, it's got that food kind of smell to it, like dog food sort of. So it was merely by visual observation and looking through and seeing there's no anomalies in the rows that were packed, there's no height differences. It was not a thorough inspection, but we did come back to further inspect it on the 1st of July.
Why? Why did you go back on the 1st of July?
For the purpose of being thorough, to make sure that nothing further was there, also to release this container to the intended consignee.
What I don't understand is why did you not find the need on the 22nd of June to be that thorough? Why did you have this brainwave a week later?
Okay. Commissioner, if you look at it, it was 5,395 50-kilogram bags.
But that you discover only after you unpacked.
No,
not before.
we had the packing list, Commissioner, so we were aware.
Sorry, if I may say, but you didn't know that on the 22nd of June, did you?
We had the packing list, we
Still.
did know it, yes, yes, Commissioner.
So you were already aware of the number of bags, you just decided you are not doing that unpacking today, you're going to take what you found when you opened the container, seal the container, and you're off, you'll come back on another day. Was that like the approach you adopted for the day?
Yes, but may I clarify?
Okay, absolutely.
Okay. The moving of such a volume of bags, despite what other witnesses may have said here, no warehouse is going to just let you utilize their staff for how many hours when it doesn't benefit them really. So the onus is up to, like, I'll give you an example. When it comes to counterfeit goods, you get the brand attorneys, the brand agents that come through with laborers that they employ for this specific purpose. So it's not light work to move 5,000 somewhat 50-kilogram bags. So if we had done it then, the majority of our labor and our time would have gone, would have been not wasted, but would have been offloading bags for hours and hours instead of focusing on the narcotics that we've just seized. I was satisfied. My members also did look in there. We sealed the container, so in my mind we had, and generally rip-on, rip-off works like that, Commissioner. In my experience, what you see in the front of the container, 10 out of 10 times it was what was in the container. So yes, I did not do a proper, thorough unpack or inspection of the rest of the container. I didn't do it at that stage.
You've just said something that I find quite startling. You say that no warehouse is going to allow you to, I'll paraphrase, search in the manner in which you want to, if it is not to their benefit. Is that last part that I want to focus on, and there I'm not paraphrasing, those are your words, if it is not to their benefit.
Okay, maybe my choice of word, Chair, was not correct. My point was...
And I say that's startling because I cannot see how crime detection could or is to depend on the benefit of the warehouse.
My apologies, Chair. It's not benefit. The point I was trying to make is that the depots are not forthcoming with laborers if you want to do a full unpack, especially when it comes to voluminous commodities like we did have here. So you need to get your own laborers, you need to get your own manpower to unpack.
It may actually not be a mistake that you say this, because somewhere, let me just look, I hope I won't mess up your probing.
Not at all, Chair.
Ms. Sillo.
Thank you.
So what you just said now actually accords with what you say in your statement. Somewhere in your statement, I hope to find it just now. Somewhere in your statement, you say that you did not want to prejudice the depot, basically, the operations of the depot.
Yes.
So that actually ties in with what you said now about the benefit of the warehouse. This you say in paragraph 21 of your statement. Do you want to go there? There you say, I took the decision not to cordon off and close the depot. I did not want to prejudice the company by closing them down for the rest of the day, as they were not suspects in the matter. So it actually ties in with your statement about the benefit of what you call now the warehouse.
I think.
So you were actually not making a mistake when we spoke about the benefit of the warehouse.
It was just a wrong choice of.
But have you had a look at the first two sentences of paragraph 21? Please do so now.
Yes,
Your statement prepared for the commission.
Yes.
But do you see that the two are basically similar in substance?
Yes, I noticed that, sir.
So you should accept when I say to you that when you spoke about the benefit of the warehouse, you are not making a mistake. This is something that's in your head, which is why you would have it in your statement in paragraph 21. It can't be a mistake. You can't repeat the same mistake.
I didn't, that was not my intention when I said benefit.
I mean, when you prepare a written statement, you sit down, you think it through, and then you put, it's no longer pen to paper now, it's clicking keys on your iPad, laptop, or whatever. So you can't talk about a mistake in paragraph 21, can you?
Yes, no, this is not a mistake.
Yeah. Now you've just accepted that this ties in with what you said about the benefit to the warehouse. You remember you just accepted that now.
Yes.
So if it's not a mistake in paragraph 21, it can't be a mistake when you said it here. Can it be?
May I be allowed
The
to?
two basically say the same thing.
Yes.
So you can't say the one, which is what you just said now, is a mistake. But this one in paragraph 21 is not a mistake.
May I comment to this?
Yes,
Chair?
yes.
Okay, I think the point I'm trying to drive through, Chair, is that not every company has the manpower to spare or to do it efficiently enough, especially with the movement of over 5,000 50-kilogram bags. So that was just my point, that they're not too keen on doing it as well, so that's what I was trying to drive, that is why we didn't do it at that point. We know that normally for this type of unpack, you need to be prepared with your own laborers. So I did not intend that way, but I was mindful, and then in the same breath, I'll say I was mindful, especially at this stage when it came to paragraph 21, about closing this company off for the rest of the day. Yes, I was mindful of that.
I will engage you further. It's just that I do not want to disturb Ms. Silo's probing.
Chair, you may proceed, otherwise we will pick it up again tomorrow, but it's not disturbing my flow at all.
Oh, thank you. Do you accept that the optimal way to perform the search and work the crime scene was to do that at location? Do you accept that?
Yes,
That is where the container was?
I accept it, Chair.
Or at the most, to just remove it where it was, because you say there was a container this side and another container this side. Maybe to just move it even before opening it to where there would be enough space for you to do a proper cordoning off,
Yes.
Correct?
You are correct, Chair.
And would you say there wasn't sufficient space for you to move the container in that manner?
Yes, Chair.
There was.
No, there wasn't.
There wasn't. So all the space that was available was the space where there were containers along each other and not any other space anywhere else within that entire precinct at the depot. Is that what you are saying?
No, I'm not saying that, Chair.
That's exactly what I'm asking you.
Yes,
So
no, they
was
would have-
there space for you to move the container from where there were containers on either side
Yes.
within the precinct?
I didn't fully inspect it, but I would
No.
think
I'm talking about space. Was there space for that?
I would think so.
So you could have moved the container.
Yes.
And
Chair.
then you would have had enough space to cordon off that area where you had moved it to,
Yes.
not so?
Yes.
Now you've accepted that the optimal thing for you to do was to do it at location, and now you've just admitted or accepted also that you could have moved it to have enough space to cordon off so that you are not obstructed by containers on either side. So you've accepted that as well. And now you've said, or rather, and you inspect, search, conduct the operation on location, not for the sake of it. You do not do that for the sake of it. There are practical considerations for that, correct?
Yes.
And for example, there should be no tampering with fingerprints and DNA before the LCRC has checked for these. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct, Chair.
Now, here you did not call LCRC. You've said that. Paragraph 7 of your statement of the 23rd of June, 2022. Your statement of 22 June 2022. Paragraph 7. Page 648 of Exhibit File 2. You say in so many ways that you did not call LCRC, correct?
Yes, yes, Chair.
Here's what you say: I did not request LCRC to attend the scene. The first
With Monday.com's intuitive work management platform, you have the power. Not IT, not admins. You're in.
648. Exhibit File 2.
Yes, I see it, Chair.
So now you accept that it's important for the LCRC to check for the DNA and fingerprints on location. The reason for that, obviously, is that there should be no tampering. The LCRC, wherever possible, should be able to uplift the fingerprints and the DNA, if there is any, if there are any.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, Chair.
Now, when exhibits are handled before the LCRC has uplifted the fingerprints and DNA, there are chances, or rather, there may be chances of successfully uplifting these. That is, if the LCRC works on the exhibits before they have been handled or moved.
Yes,
Do you
Chair.
accept?
I do.
Now, but if it's the opposite that has happened, that is, if they have been touched, handled, and moved, or moved, the chances of that happening may be brought to naught. Is that correct?
You are correct, Chair.
Now, at the time you did this, that is, choosing not to call LCRC, handling and moving these exhibits, what were you thinking about the utility of allowing LCRC to first check for fingerprints and DNA? What were you thinking about the utility of that?
Okay. Chair, it's my answer. It may not be accepted well, but in my experience, all of these cases, although, like I indicated, I may not have investigated hands-on these cases. I've inspected them. On numerous occasions, when these cases are generated, I have sight of them. Even if I give you 20 rip-off loads that we had addressed or seized, made seizures at, in not one of these cases, not one, have we ever received any feedback by way of LCRC in terms of fingerprints uplifted or DNA. And Chair, I'm going to go a little further to explain why as well. I'm not sure why they didn't give us any feedback, but as a detective, from my point of view, I'm saying you've got a very slim to none chance of objectively linking your suspect to those drugs that were found in a rip-off load. There's no way to distinguish between fingerprints or DNA, more especially in the container, fingerprints or DNA that belong to your suspects, and those that belong to legitimate port officials who had loaded the legitimate commodity in the container. So I'm not sure whether that plays a role in it, but part of my decision not to call them was based on the fact that out of every single case of rip-on, rip-off that we had handled, we've received nothing by way of fingerprints or DNA.
So Colonel Jacob says, I am taking my own decision and I am not going to allow the ordinary and ordinarily applicable process of having the LCRC to come to the scene and do their work before I handle these goods. I'm taking it upon myself as Colonel Jacob to, or rather not to heed that process. That applies. That is an applicable prescript. I, as Colonel Jacob, am not going to follow that.
Yes. Chair, that's one of those decisions that I said to you I will rule for the rest of my life. So,
you see, the problem is, it may be easy for you to say that that's a decision you'll rule for the rest of your life. The problem is we want to get behind the why. There's a big why in all of this.
yes.
One, I engaged you earlier on the available storage spaces. There as well, oh, by the way, no, I'm talking about my notes. I've not done it yet. I'm talking about my notes on something I want to engage you on, but I will not do it now. But it was quite plain when Ms. Sildo was engaging you that you did not inquire about the capacity of the other places. Oh, now I remember. What I engaged you on were the distances. And you accepted when I engaged you that the one police station within Durban was, the furthest was 24 kilometers. Yes. The other 20, another one lesser. Yes. And there as well, you didn't really have an explanation as to why you did not go there. Now again, you don't really have an explanation for not following prescripts. And all you say is it's a decision that you will rule for the rest of your life. Bear in mind that in the end, the cocaine or suspected cocaine gets lost. So the question why is very important in connection with all of these steps where there are decisions that you will live to rule for the rest of your life.
Yes, Chair.
So the why is very important, and I'm not saying you stole the cocaine, but we're asking all these questions because there's that question of who stole this cocaine. Do you get what I mean?
I understand, Chair.
Do you want to comment on that?
What can I say? I think I'll leave it at that, Chair, but just to say that it may have been a sense of complacency that set in, or familiarity with, I know this is how these cases go, and that's why I made that decision that I did. However, I see there's no benefit in taking any shortcuts, and I can see how it does not look good to the Commission. These little
Not the Commission, you.
Yes.
You.
Even for me.
Yes.
Yes. I understand, Chair. Yes, I understand.
Can I just ask something to clarify what your evidence, in fact, is about the LCRC not being called to the scene? Is your evidence, and I ask this question because, depending on your answer, the answers have different consequences. Did you make the decision on the scene not to call the LCRC? That's one possibility, and I'm trying to understand your evidence. Or it never crossed your mind at all that you should be calling them. You just went in and did what you and your people did on the scene. Which one of the two is it?
I'll say, Commissioner, I saw them as an investigative aid that point in time was not priority, based on the fact that we had recovered this amount of drugs. We didn't have exhibit bags to seal it in. I didn't want to send members out searching every station for exhibit bags. I saw that the police station was 4 kilometers away.
Yeah, sorry, my question is different. My question is, did you make a decision to not call the LCRC? It's yes or no. We know for a fact they were not there. And I'm asking you a question of, were they not there because you considered it and you made the decision not to call them?
At the scene, yes, I made a decision not to call them, Commissioner.
Okay, so you acted in breach of the nation, you made the decision to act in breach of the of the instruction that says you should call the LCRC.
You are correct.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Chair.
It may not be yes.
Oh, no,
No, please.
No, I'm quite aware of the time, and I was saying before the chair orders us to rise for the day, I just wanted to finish off this particular topic with one question.
You are aware that we have a scheduled meeting for 15:15, but...
Oh,
right.
judging by the chair's questions, I thought that meeting was... But a very brief one.
No, yes.
Thank you. Colonel, if you go to your paragraph 35, and we have spoken about this, it's your return to the depot on the 1st of July.
What page number, Commissioner?
Your statement now?
Yeah.
Page 6, paragraph 35. It's the 1st of July, 2021. You are back at the depot with the container. Are you there? Your statement to the commission?
Yeah, looks like, yeah. Statements.
The original statement.
Possibly this one.
Page? Page 6 of his statement, paragraph 35.
The statement is on what page, Commissioner?
Tab 3 of the consolidated statements.
It's this one.
Can you read the screen? Maybe read the screen.
My eyesight.
There's one closer to you.
Okay, yes, I can. Yeah.
Okay, and I read out some of it to you. You say, on my return from work, I took over the investigation. Mpangaze made it known that he was leaving. Then, third line, on 1st July 21, I proceeded to the CHC depot with Mpangaze and Sibia. I had arranged that the clearing agent, Megafreight, send a representative to unpack the container, and we conducted a count of 50 kg bags of animal feed. They amounted to 5395 bags, which corresponded with the packing list.